was not able to take a video on our journey going here in Korea because I was carrying my son during almost all the time from our flight going to Manila, from Davao to Manila, then Manila going to Incheon. I almost carried him almost all the time. That's why I wasn't able to have a video, and I have 3 luggages, 1 backpack and 2 other just handbags, but it's kind of heavy. It's some groceries that I wasn't able to buy here in Korea, or I have no time to buy it online, and that I sometimes see here. So I bought some goods for myself and for a friend, and I just wanna explain why I use English in almost all of my videos. It's because I have foreign friends, and my foreign friends will understand my videos if I speak English. So that's why I speak English, and my vlogs also help me to remember the things that I learned in English, and I can speak it also here, because if you live here in Korea, you can no longer speak it almost every time, not unless if you speak it with your children. I use Korean and English with my son and my daughter also, but through these vlogs it helps me still be confident in speaking English. So let's proceed. So much for that. So I just explained that this one person is telling me, why do I speak English in my vlogs? Maybe because of that I wasn't able to get so many subscribers. Maybe it's not because of my language that I use, maybe because of the contents, and I'm not in a hurry actually. If I have so many subscribers, it's much more better, but if it's slowly, it's fine. I can wait, I can have patience. So let's proceed. Our Davao to Manila, of course, if you arrive at the airport, Davao International Airport, you can check in your baggage 4 hours before your flight, and it's much more better if you go there earlier, so that, especially if you have a toddler, when we were going to Korea, it's just me and my son, so I have a hard time. That's why I went there earlier, 4 hours before our flight. Then our flight that day was 5:35 p.m. in the afternoon. That's why I went there like lunch time or after lunch. I went there. So of course, if you have a hard time, if you have a toddler, some people would assist you for free, and if you have some money, you can also give them a tip. It depends on you. Then our flight is via PAL, Philippine Airlines, and I have 10 kilos for my check-in baggage. Then any excess, of course, you can purchase it in the ticketing office. It's much more cheaper, but if you don't have time during the boarding pass, you can still also purchase your baggage there, but it's more expensive. Like in the case of my husband, he was able to purchase the original additional 10 kilos. It only costs for 250 pesos in the ticketing office outside the airport. Then if you bought it in the boarding pass lane, it cost him like 600 pesos for 3 kilos in excess of his 10 kilos free package. So he spent 600 pesos. So that's it. Then I was able to check in, but of course I waited 2 hours for my flight. Then when we were waiting, so when we received our boarding pass at that time, we proceed to our gate, and we waited for a few hours. That's why I have lots of time to sleep, or what I did was I charged my phone, the tablet of my son. Then after that, I finished charging, so we went outside to eat some food. So there are also restaurant, but it's much more expensive if it's in the airport, inside the airport. It is outside in the gate in Pal. There is a nearby restaurant there, but almost all of them new would cost 100 plus, above like 160 pesos for a Sunday. Yes, I remember that one. And 130 pesos for the spaghetti. It's just one hand spaghetti, then a piece of bread. So it would cost you much, but it's much more comfortable because it's just nearby your gate. I was in gate number 5 that time. Then after that one, there are still remaining time for us to wait. So I saw a person who's in a wheelchair. He's actually a foreigner, and he's a retired Navy, a US retired Navy. So I saw him. He's a bit maybe kind of bored, and I was able to experience that being alone, traveling, going to another place. So it seems that I relate to him. So I approached him, and we were able to do conversation about family, about marriage, about his fruitful relationship, and it was good time actually. And he did also appreciate my way of approaching him and having conversation with him. So there, he's the first actually, because he had a special case. He's in a wheelchair, so he's the first one to go in the plane. And actually the staff there thought that we are together, but actually I explained, I just approached him and had a conversation with him. So he's the first one to go on the plane. Then after that one, of course in the Philippines, they have a priority lane for those who are disabled and those who are with children. But still, the system are different in terms of the like PAL, Cebu Pacific. The airlines have different systems. Sometimes they have a good system, sometimes they don't. So anyway, we were able to proceed inside the plane. Then going to Manila, from Davao to Manila have no restrictions, so you don't have to worry anything about any documents to present. Just your passport and your boarding pass will do. So when we arrive to Manila, we arrive in Terminal 2 in Manila International Airport. So we have to transfer because our flight going to Korea is in Terminal 1. So when we arrive to Manila International Airport, of course you always have to listen to the announcements, especially on where to get your check-in luggages. So we listened to the announcement, and of course our luggage was it has a sticker which says it's a priority, since I have a toddler son. He's 2 years old with me. Then after that one, when I get my luggage, we proceed to Bay 19 for the free shuttle going to Terminal 1, because some of the persons outside will convince you to get a taxi, which will cost you like 500 pesos, but actually it will rush you, it will make you going to the airport fastly, but it depends on you. Actually, it would be nothing for you if you have so much money, but if you value money and if you have so much time, you can wait for the free shuttle. But that time, actually the shuttle bus was like so fast, like 3 minutes maybe. We waited like 3 to 5 minutes and the shuttle was there, and we were able to ride the bus going to Terminal 1. Then actually I bought some lists here so that I would remember all the things I have encountered, experienced at that time. So we went to Bay 19. Remember that one, Bay 19. If you are in Terminal 2 going to Terminal 1, you can ride their free shuttle going to your terminal, in which terminal you should go for your international flight. Then after that one, when we arrive to Terminal 1, you need to go first and pay your travel tax if you are not yet a Korean citizen. If you are still a Filipino citizen, you need to pay your travel tax, which costs 1,620 pesos. Then after that, you can go to your airline and check in. So you check in your baggages, then you present your receipt that you paid the travel tax, and they will actually advise you to make online QR code. They have actually a QR code. You will picture that one and it will proceed you to a website. But actually, if you had a hard time doing that QR code, you can just go inside and proceed to the lane going to immigration. So if you have your toddler with you, or if you are disabled, if you have a special condition, you can go right side. They have a priority lane for you, but still it will take you time. It depends on the immigration person. If they process fast, you can go inside the gate fastly, but if they don't, you have to wait. So that's why it's more great if you are earlier going to your to the airport earlier. Is much more better, so that in times like that you can adjust your schedule, you can manage your time. So when we arrived there, as I told you, I paid my travel tax. Then after we go to the immigration, of course, going to Manila, going to Korea, you need to have your antigen test, and it's much more better if you can do it if you went to your province like me from Davao. I do the antigen in Davao so that when I arrive in Manila, I would not get in a hurry going to the diagnostic center or any accredited of DOH accredited hospital in order to get my antigen test. The antigen test will take only 30 minutes to 1 hour, and in Davao it only costs like 650 pesos, maybe the cheapest. It is RAT, rapid antigen test. Then it's different with swab test. It's much more it takes only a bit of time, and the results are gonna be released 30 minutes or 1 hour after. So you have to present that one in Manila in the immigration office. Then of course also get ready your certificate of vaccination, because they will check your vaccination details. Then of course after that one, that is in the airline. They're gonna check your antigen test certificate and your vaccination details, so that they will release boarding pass for you. Of course, you're gonna give your passport together as well. Then they will advise you for QR code, but if you can, because it will take so much time, you proceed to the immigration. Then in the immigration, you just have to present your antigen test, your boarding pass, and your passport. They will just check some details on it and maybe ask questions like your birth date. And I had not so much questions because I was with my toddler at that time. So you must always be alert and listen to the announcements so that you would know. Then at that time you followed just those people who have the same plane with me. We just followed them where they're going, and we went we ride an escalator going down to ride our airplane. And in the plane, few hours before our arrival, we are given arrival card to fill out, then about customs also, and we just fill that out. Then after that one, after a few hours of flight, it was 4 hours before we arrived to Korea. So, and at Davao to Manila, it almost now take 2 hours before you're gonna arrive. That is the domestic flight. And Manila to Korea, it takes 4 hours. So upon arrival to Korea, we went to the quarantine lane. The quarantine lane has 2 lanes. One is just presenting your documents if you were not able to finish the QR code. But if you were able to finish the QR code, you will just present your QR code. And if you are with the COVID, you were able to quarantine in whichever province you have quarantine, you must present your quarantine certificate. Then if you are just normal, you have to present your antigen result certificate and of course your passport. Then you can proceed for your luggage receiving. Then after that one, you go to the immigration. The immigration is separate for the Koreans and separate for the foreigners. Mostly, it will be fast for you. Compared to the Philippines, there are not much that not so many foreigners arriving in Incheon Airport. Even when I went here in Daegu, there are not much foreigners during our line going to the immigration lane. Then in the immigration lane, you're just gonna present your um I, I did what I did was I just present my passport and they just let me a thumb mark like that. Then it's good. After that, it will be fine. Then you can go. If you are from Incheon, then you can proceed outside. But like me, I'm gonna go to Daegu, so I have to proceed to the underground in order for me to ride a train. Train going from Incheon International Airport going to Seoul Station. So when I go there, of course I have to purchase a ticket going to Seoul Station, and the ticketing booth. You can have a self. You can buy it by yourself, and actually they have Korean, English interpretation, so you can understand and it will be easy for you to buy. So I bought a ticket not using card, but I use only my money, and I can put it inside the ticketing machine. There I can put inside in order to pay. Then maybe it costs like 4,000 something, 4,000, 60 like that something. Then I bought one for myself. My toddler, no need. 10 what 2 years. My toddler was 2 years old, so he need not anymore. He don't need any more ticket for himself. So when we had our ticket, we had to go inside, and then after we can ride a train going to Seoul Station. Then in the Seoul Station, my father-in-law already bought online a ticket for KTX going to Seoul Station. So from there, we find our through the online ticket that my father-in-law sent to my KakaoTalk. I was able to view the details, and there are actually signs that you can read where to go. So just be alert in every time you travel. You must always check your needed things like cell phone, your documents. Always check that one, especially if you have a toddler with you. So actually that was all my details, my experiences during our flight going to Korea, Daegu, South Korea. So from Davao going to Manila, then Manila going to Incheon International Airport, then from Incheon International Airport going to Seoul Station. Then after Seoul Station, we went to Daegu train station. It was not really easy travel, but I was able to go home, and that's the most important thing. I was able to go home. So I hope you learned. I hope I helped you in some way. And if you have some questions, you can ask me and message me beneath this video. And I hope you like and subscribe my channel. This is Maylee. Thank you so much. 사랑해요. And Davao International Airport. So I already checked in my baggage. So that is my plane via Philippine Airlines. We are here now at PR 1818. Enjoy Jeju. 안녕.